us again. I'll get rid of those so you don't get to
Everybody.
Oh. Hey, everybody.
And me and John and Shane. Guess we're a threesome tonight. Don't get carried away. What the heck is going on? Anything? We missed last week.
We did. Well, the big news this week was, of course, everybody's talking about the debate. And, a whole lot going on there. 3 candidates in the debate, and most people didn't know that there was a third. Cobra Commander was also running for president. And the highlight of the debate was the question they asked, what you're going to do about climate control. Of course, Biden fumbled around about, all the money he spent on it, and Trump just blamed him for it. So that was about it. But then Cobra Commander jumped in and said, hey, I got climate control covered. I got a weather dominator. It can control the climate no matter what. If it's too hot in Miami, I'll drop a 6-foot snowstorm on them. If it's too dry in Texas, I'll load them up with a major hurricane and flood the whole area. And if there's too many fires going on in California, I'll sweep in with a whole bunch of tornadoes just to wipe it all away. So he's got the climate control part down pat. He's got it covered. So well, he's got my vote.
I watched that mess and I missed that.
I think we watched a different one.
Yeah. I think I'd rather watch. I would have rather watched that one actually.
Yeah, for real.
Jeez.
Nancy did want me to talk about some older toys.
My favorite Beanie Baby.
She wanted to show off her favorite Beanie Baby.
Can anyone guess what it might be first?
A sock monkey.
No.
Close. Its name's Chocolate.
Chocolate, the moose.
Yeah, see. Boy, that looks like Mr. Moose from the old Captain Kangaroo show, doesn't it?
It does, don't it?
It does.
I thought Dave might appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oh, I do. I appreciate it greatly. I do. I really do.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
I appreciate that greatly. Like my father used to say, Nancy, it's a long road without any turns in it. So
he said it's a long road without any turns in it.
He knows.
Well, then, since she introduced that one, let me introduce this one. This will be Fred.
There you go.
I'm his favorite groupie. He knows it.
There you go.
You named him Fred?
Fred.
I will get
Alder just seemed a little weird, so.
What's that?
Alder just seemed a little weird.
Yeah, Otto. What did they name it? Was it?
Alder?
No, what was it?
I think is it ALDER?
Alder. Like an alder, like an alder tree.
Alder, yeah. ALDER, alder.
Yeah, and that would make sense because the moose out west and like Montana and like that eat all them alder trees out there.
Who you got riding on him, Shane?
Oh, this is the Gladiator.
Oh, okay.
I just got him Friday.
Yeah.
I got him off of that Ballers page for $8.
Huh.
He's still,
I was going to show him.
Yeah, he still reminds me of the bad guy on the Road Warrior.
Yeah.
The Gladiator,
Yeah.
he looks so much like what was the name? Humongous or whatever? I can't remember.
Lord Humongous.
Yeah, Lord Humongous from the Road Warrior.
Yeah. He was actually a wrestler also. Lord Humongous was, and it was Sid Vicious.
Oh, was that Sid Vicious?
Yeah.
That was played. I didn't know how. I
Really?
never looked to see who played him.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Doing something every day. So I wasn't going to do this because I was not going to be rude or mean but I changed my mind. This ferret is really kind of awesome.
Oh,
I'm really beginning to think that this is probably the greatest classified toy ever made.
I would agree with you on that. Let me get mine. Hang on.
We'll talk about that later if you want to. Actually, it's very sturdy little suckers. But like I said,
are you saying that ferret rides better than a moose?
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. and half the please.
Please are just a bonus, man.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah,
what we're
happy
gonna
June
do-
30th, Corey. Real quick, I want to give a shout out to my buddy Cheese watching out there in TV land.
Cool.
First time watching tonight.
Okay.
Cheese?
Yeah. Her name is Tammy Hastings. Real good friend of mine. We call her Cheese.
I'll call her Tammy. I don't know about that cheese thing.
She loves cheese.
It's kind of cheesy, isn't it?
That's what her grandbabies call her, so she loves it.
The grandbabies call her that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that makes sense.
There's a story behind it. I'll tell y'all one day.
Yeah. Nice. Been kind of slow, right, guys? I mean, there was some CDCC exclusive pics that kind of leaked out this week from loyal subjects with TMNT stuff, but I have to tell you the pictures were terrible. So hopefully in the next week we'll see better ones and we can talk about that. The pictures were bad enough, so there's no sense in even talking about them, honestly. Yeah. Did we talk about the Sergeant Fury McFarlane figure?
I think so. I thought we talked about it last time.
I think we did too, because what a colossal disappointment that is. Warner Brothers and its infinite wisdom decides not to give a World War II hero any firearms, which is completely stupid. That's just. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, before the show, I was looking at some of the new stuff on Hasbro Pulse, and I'm looking. Which, don't get me wrong, this is by far the best Odin figure that they could possibly have done. But is it $60 good though?
No,
that's my question.
No.
I mean, it's an awesome looking figure, but I just don't know. I mean, $60.
Show it again, John.
Wait a minute. That's showing it with the all the accessories it comes with. I mean, you get two hands, a sword, two different crowns or whatever you want to call them, and a couple of birds and a staff. And like I said, I mean, it is awesome. I could see it being a $40 figure.
Yeah, 40, 45 maybe, but not $60. $60 is outrageous.
And well, let me see if I can find it here. Let me get it. So let's look at the Marvel first. Okay. So then you got the Hulkbuster, which is cool. It's got a removable helmet. It's got Tony Stark in there. Also $60. It comes with a head and two hands for $60. And I know it's big, it's huge, but I'm trying to remember the Hydra Stomper that come out a while back. I can't remember. I think it was maybe around $49.99, maybe $50, and maybe $49.99 would be a good price on it. Then I got to looking also. Then they have the Scar, the Son of Hulk, who is $40, $39.99, and that's what he comes with. Well, let me see. Come on here now.
Separate head, dagger, two fists, a sword. Yep.
I don't know. $40, maybe. Yeah, he is a little. I mean, he is a bigger figure. I don't know. It just seems like the Odin and the Hulkbuster is a little bit, a little bit overpriced to me. I don't know. I mean, they are. I mean, and I can't. I haven't seen side by side comparisons. They may be a little bigger, but when you think about it, the Ferret with the driver is $54.99.
Or it was.
Two Steel Brigades was also $54.99.
Yeah.
I mean, you got two figures normally $24.99. That'd be $50, but they're $5 more. And now, granted, the Ferret's a little bit bigger than a figure to me. So I mean, I could see it.
Yeah.
But even like the Mad Marauders, Low Light, and Spirits, $54.99. I don't know. I mean, it seems like they're stretching for that extra $5 in there. And granted, I understand they're exclusives. Both those sets are exclusives, but still, I don't know. I'm afraid they're going to price themselves out of business. Is what they're going to end up doing. And with the way the economy is, people can't keep going at those prices and not considering the amount of product that they're putting out there. And anybody who's trying to be a completionist, there's no way. There's no way.
No, especially if you look at what Hasbro's done with the classified, there is an absolute ton of Army Builder figures. The Iron Grenadiers, the Night Creepers. We're looking at retro eels. We're looking at retro snow serpents. There is a ton of Army Builder figures. The reissue, the retro Cobra Trooper. Got to make the collector math that we've talked about before hard, because a lot of us have been able, since the line started in 2019, we were able to do a little army building here and there, right? But geez, when you think about what they've done. We've got Crimson Guardsmen, Crimson Vipers, Crimson Bats, Crimson Alley Vipers, right? Before that, what did we have? We had troopers, we had officers, we had the Python Patrol troopers and officers, we had Trouble Bubbles, we got Techno Vipers right now, which I don't know if you really army build a lot of Techno Vipers, but some probably would. His fire team.
Yeah. I have seen the Techno Vipers hanging on pegs a lot, still
same
recently.
here, yeah. I'm seeing a lot of big boas. I'm seeing a lot of quick kicks. A lot of Techno Vipers. Airborne seems to be the winner out of that batch. Yeah. He seems to have sold really well. But I got to tell you guys, the retro classified, the retros, you used to see a Duke once in a while. You might see a Recondo. You never saw Scarlet in just my very limited travels in the last, 3 days? I'm seeing Scarlets. I'm seeing Dukes. I'm seeing Recondos. So the retro card didn't do so hot all of a sudden.
I know the guest Walmart just got another box in because they were down to one Duke, and then when I went in there Thursday or Friday, I can't remember. They had another Scarlet, and they had a couple more Dukes and a couple more Recondos. So apparently they got another case in. So a little slow because it's been down to one Duke for several weeks. And I guess their distribution is a little slow at getting them back out there, filling them back up. I don't know. But it's nice to see that they're easy to find. They're not cutting production back so far that you can't find them. But they're there, they're gone. You come back, they're there again. It's like, it's kind of back and forth.
Yeah, I think we all can agree that production numbers are way, way down, but I also think purchasing is way, way down.
I agree with that too.
I think we got a real vicious catch-22, not catch-22, but a cycle going here where buyers are reacting to their economics just as sure as the manufacturers reacted to theirs. They cut back production, and we cut back spending. So, geez, I'm sitting here thinking about, the Army builders in the past, Blue Ninjas, Red Ninjas, right? Valkyries, the Steel Brigade, the original Eels, the original Snow Vipers, Arctic Bats, regular Bats. Man, there's been a ton of Army builders, but things were slightly different. We weren't getting really bombarded with product. All kidding aside, the Ferret and the Vamp, all kidding aside, not because of the quality of the product. Don't misunderstand me. They're both excellent. The availability is garbage.
Oh yeah.
The exclusivity of them is garbage. I think I already told you guys what I did. I got 2 ferrets weekend before last, but that was that was checking pulse every 10 or so minutes, literally off and on all weekend, and got one at a time as people's payments were being, I hate to say this, but you guys know this is true. We know what was happening. They were billing that weekend. So people's payments got declined, so they pop up on inventory. And I had managed to keep one in my cart at all times. So anytime one popped up, bang, bang, bang. There must have been 5 or 6 times over that weekend I missed. I mean, completely missed. It would get me to shipping and then it was gone, or it would get me to payment and then it was gone.
Yeah.
I did manage to get 2 of them, and I still am trying very hard to see if that system is going to get knocked again for you guys. I can't even put one in my cart anymore. I haven't even been able to have the opportunity to do that. When they saying sold out this time, I'm thinking they mean it. Which
I'm hoping maybe when San Diego Comic-Con stuff hits that they might release some more stock. Possibly. I don't know what's that have to say.
I hope, maybe. I hope. But the vamp's $300 now.
Yeah.
Oh, everywhere, and people buying them like crazy.
And these little suckers are $100, $100 plus, and it's just like. And I'm sorry, I get it. This was, what really bothers me about this. And again, all kidding aside, and I'm not showing it off. I'm just sticking it up here because it's more of a prop than anything. Because I genuinely am trying to help you guys get these stupid things. These are, as far as comics go, these are not as iconic. As far as the cartoon goes, man, these are super iconic. Right. Mm-hmm. And what's really bugging me about this is we've all been speculating for, at least 3 years about vehicles this size, right? Polar bear, a devilfish, a fang, a claw. What else, guys? I mean, seriously, in this scale vehicle, this was Hasbro's first. Mm-hmm. This was Hasbro's first outing at giving us these smaller scaled vehicles, right? Mm-hmm. And as far as availability goes, guys, they botched this. Price point's great, the figure's great, quality on this little thing's great. Size of it is awesome. Availability, they get a -10 on that one because it's just so far, anyways. If this thing sells for $100 consistently, $120 consistently on eBay or wherever else, that tells me you didn't meet customer demand. You way underproduced. That's
I did notice that the few wreckage with the Tiger Force ferret, people were selling those on eBay for like $65.
They don't even have them in hand yet, do they?
I don't think so, but that's what they were listing them. So I'm thinking a lot of people don't do the sub teams, so it might be a little easier to find than the regular ferret. But also, it's not an army builder.
It's not.
It's got wreckage, who's a single character. Yeah. The other's an army builder. I mean, it's got a like a, I don't know, what do you call it? She's like a backer. I mean, she's got the helmet, motorcycle helmet and all on. I forget what they're called, but
she got a motocross helmet on. I mean, you can easily, even if you had to have 2 because of the twins. Mm-hmm. And
what up, Jared?
You know what? Yeah, hey, buddy. You do know what most of these drivers, ferret drivers, are going to end up doing: hanging out of the side of a Stinger.
Yeah.
Right. The twins are going to be on. Whoever was fortunate enough to get 2 of these ferrets, one. Each of the twins will have one, and these will end up gunners or whatever in the Stingers. That the Stingers. That was a good point there, Corey. Yeah, the Stingers have been bouncing in and out of stock all weekend on Pulse. I don't know what you got. Have you seen them on Amazon or Big Bad? Do they ever sell out?
Yeah, they're still up. No, they never sold out on Amazon. Yeah, I never did check Big Bad, but I know they never sold out on Amazon.
I don't understand why they didn't really do the ferret the same way. Offer it to online shops.
They're losing so much money right now.
Yeah,
I mean, if their team had any sense and could see eBay and see that they're selling for $300, that's 3 products they're selling and losing right there. it's stupid. It's just stupid.
We keep coming back to this conversation over and over and over again is what is the point in a pre-order if a pre-order can be sold out? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
A pre-order should be not all that much different than what we do with Pulse or with the HasLabs. You're going to get an idea of what the demand is, then you produce to that demand. You don't pick a random arbitrary number, produce that, and then put them up on pre-order. Like I said, guys, we've had this conversation over and over again. How come three relatively basic blue-collar guys sitting in the middle of nowhere, Alabama, can figure this out, but toy maker Hasbro or toy maker Mattel or toy maker McFarlane can't seem to get their head firmly removed from their own backside enough to understand supply and demand? I just don't understand how does a pre-order sell out? It makes no sense.
We've talked about this 1,000 times. Yep. It just does not make sense.
We just came off the Kickstarter for the compendium, right?
Yep.
Let's face it, John, help me. The original series, book 155, was in 1994 or 1996?
96.
Somewhere around there.
Right, it's one of the other.
The line ended in 94, but I think the series run for another year or two, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's probably 96. Maybe that's where my confusion is. The original toy line ended in 94. The comic, featuring Snake Eyes lasted until 1996. Okay, so let's look at this realistically. The newest of the books in that compendium are 30 years old. Think about that. The oldest is 22 years old. 42 years old.
Right.
Now, Hasbro is looking at that going, wait a second, right? Almost $3.8 million, because believe it or not, you can still buy those, and that total is still going up.
It is.
You got to pay a 10% premium now, which makes sense because Kickstarter's out of it now, so all of that extra handling comes in. But whatever, that's a conversation for another time. How is it that Hasbro can now sit there and look at that and go, wait a second, we needed to make more Vamps, because that's what it tells me.
Yeah, for
right.
real.
We needed to make more Vamps.
I really think on the Vamps they're gonna release the Vamp Mark II next year, which will just be a tan and a tan clutch,
a tan stinger.
Yeah, and I think that'll appease everybody that that didn't get a Vamp. They'll get a tan Vamp or Mark II. But if you want an original Vamp, you want an original Vamp.
Right. Well, because one's a Vamp and one's a Mark II Vamp.
Right.
No, seriously. I mean, okay, let's be fair, because they're still up for sale. Let's talk about this. You want to tell us that repaints are just as good, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what this is the crap that they've been trying to sell us. Look at the Crimson Twins and Baroness pack that's still up from a year ago. Yep. It's still up on Pulse.
On Outlet too.
Right. Those are great. They're awesome, blah, blah, blah. But, at this point in time, they're trying to tell us that we love our exclusivity and we're never going to release the Vamp again, because it's like, well, which is it? Because that's basically what we've told us. The Vamp is very special. We know. So it's not going to be re-released. But, I don't understand. I don't understand. They think out of both sides of their head sometimes.
They've been talking to McFarlane.
Well, Mr. Todd, I read something very interesting today, which I never had anything to do with the starting lineup stuff, the sports figures that McFarlane did years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He did this same crap that he's doing with DC Multiverse. He did that same crap with those figures, apparently. He randomly threw in variants. Like at this point in time, they released, and I'm not 100% set on the pictures yet, so I didn't send anything to Shane, but there is a Manhunter figure coming, supposedly. Okay, which, if for those of you that don't know, the Manhunters were the precursor to the Green Lantern Corps. Okay. There were classic Manhunters and there were modern Manhunters. This figure that I saw pictures of is actually kind of cool. It's a modern Manhunter. It's got two different faces. Face pops off. That's normal, and the other one's battle damage that snaps right into place on this thing's face mask. There are two random figures coming out soon, and don't ask me which ones they are because I can't remember right this second. He has decided that this Manhunter figure is a platinum, and he's just randomly inserting them into this case lot of 2 other figures, which is completely different than anything that they've done before. And he's just flat out ticking everybody off at this point in time, because this is not. Somebody quoted him from an interview apparently years ago about this sports thing where he quote unquote it creates buzz about the line and it creates excitement for collecting. No, it just ticks people off. Now, from a guy that made his money in comics and got started in the toy business with the sports figures and everything else, he should know comics fans and comic character fans well enough to know that you're stirring the pot already, but it's not for excitement or challenge. You're just ticking everybody off.
Mm-hmm.
The Manhunter, would that not be an army builder?
Oh yes.
Yeah. So that makes no sense.
No.
Let's take the one that's an army builder and make it extremely limited.
No, I mean seriously, I'm sitting here looking at my McFarlane figures. This is genuinely the first army builder. I mean, seriously, they're a generic character. There aren't many armies, so to speak, in the DC universe, or Marvel for that matter. No, this is a true army builder, and it's a platinum that's thrown into random cases. That's not creating buzz or excitement. That's just ticking people off. Has Mattel, as far as the Jurassic World line, I know there's not a lot of collectors that watch, but I don't know if any of you picked up on a lot of the disappointment and the stuff that was going down in the 1 or 2 groups that are actually left about that Mattel has decided to reimagine Jurassic Park toys, which everybody says, yep, here we go with the wild colors and nothing 100% repaints. Hopefully our Hammond collection will continue on. The really super articulated glass-eyed dinos, which I hope that continues, but it's looking like the main line is about to take a major turn left.
That's kind of like with Disney. They're doing a Star Wars What If fixing to come out, and it's going to be what if the dark side was the Jedi side and the Jedi was the dark side. I've already seen like Lego sets of the Black Millennium Falcon and a couple other sets, but I can't remember the names. But yeah, they're all going to this stuff. It's going to be a series that comes out on Disney Plus.
Repaints are a fact of life. We all get it, to tell you the honest truth. And let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. 50% of the time, 90% of us have been happy with repaints, right? We got some cool stuff in repaints, right? The other half was, we was just, cashier bait, right? We're going to get it because we're completists. What's going on now, though, in a industry that's dying is really, really, really bad idea. Especially where I shared this with John. I think I said it with you too, Shane, right? That article from the New York paper that said that adult collectors have now surpassed preschoolers as the largest segment of the population that are toy buyers. We are the market. Children are not the market for toys anymore, and we've all known that. It's just time for them to wake up and realize it. We're not going to go along with just repaints. It's just not going to happen. And we're not going to put up with just being constantly frustrated either, Mr. McFarlane, because it's just a bad idea.
It's like they can't come up with no new ideas on their own.
There are none, and I have to tell you, everything that we love seems to be in crisis. Toys is in crisis, movies are in crisis, comic books are really in crisis. Having listened to podcast the other day about the state that IDW publishing finds itself in. It's very much so looking like IDW is going to end up going belly up, and soon. They've got one license now, and that's Turtles, and they lost $1.5 million last year. And from what this insider was saying, the fact of the matter is they have so much debt that they can't recover. It's not possible for IDW to recover from the debt that they've accumulated.
Right.
So, the rumor mill is hot and furious over what Warner Brothers is about to do with DC Comics. This Blood Hunt, I think they call it, this Marvel storyline that they've been running, that has not panned out well at all for Marvel. So everything, boy, it's under siege. Everything is under siege. But here's the stupid thing. It's under siege by their ownership and their writers and their creators. Right. It's not under siege by the collectors, right? You got a mini revolt going on where collectors just got sick and tired of buying crap.
Yeah.
Right? But the real revolution that's happening in our media is the complete and total mishandling of all of these companies. And I don't believe Hasbro is any different. I still stand by what I've said. Within 8 months of this point in time, I think Transformers and I think G.I. Joe is going to direct to consumer. I don't think they're going to be messing with the stores anymore, because the truth is I don't think the stores are going to be messing with them anymore. Take your pick, whichever way that goes. Especially now that we're the number one buyers.
Yeah.
Good Lord. Well, I'm seeing toys. I'm still seeing toys that have been sitting in the toy outlet or the Walmarts around here that have been here for 2+ years.
Oh, yeah.
That's insane. So, independent comics, to be perfectly honest with you, is where an awful lot of the fan base has gone.
It is.
Or they've retreated back into collecting lines and books and titles that they just didn't before in the past. Do you see what I'm saying? It's kind of amazing if you look at the numbers, the number of comic book shops that don't carry new books anymore at all, and they're actually still doing very well without the expense of buying a bunch of new books that no one buys. So, do I think comics are going to go away? No, I think new comics is going to change drastically.
To me, the independent comics, the writing is so much better in those comics than they are in these mainline comics.
Yep, it is for the most part.
It's terrible. Some of the stuff is just terrible.
I'll give you an idea. They've been talking about Valiant Comics. You guys remember Valiant Comics?
Mm-hmm.
Bloodsport, and they had a couple of other big books.
Yeah.
You know what happened to them?
Mm-mm.
That was a father and son publishing company, right? So it was back with the movie boom when Dark Horse was making tons and tons and tons of movies off comic properties, right? I mean, they were making money more off the movie properties than they were anything else.
Yeah.
So this bunch of yahoos comes to Valiant and they say, basically, hey, we'd like to be minority shareholders. We'd like to buy in. And the family was like, oh, hey, you know what? That's a great idea. And this group of investors says, well, you know, we're kind of looking towards Hollywood, which got them even more excited because, oh, no, here comes the money, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somehow, some way, they were stupid enough to allow a stipulation to be put into this buy-in. It wasn't a buy-out, it was a buy-in. They were stupid enough to let them stipulate in these contracts that they, as minority holders, could buy the whole company at any time they chose to. And that's exactly what they did. They shoved them out. They took the company over because of one line in a stupid bunch of contracts that no one was smart enough to read. Well, guess what? What happened to Valiant Comics? They absolutely decimated it. They wrecked it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they literally went through, you know, the trade papers and all of the rest of it. They were literally begging for somebody that knew what to do with comic books to please come bail us out. And no one went anywhere near it. And it died.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, the same thing is happening at Boom. Apparently, the same thing is happening at IDW. IDW, I don't. We've been through this before. We don't really need to expand on it, but IDW, we heard the stories. If we weren't reading them, we heard the stories about what they did to the Transformers books.
Yep.
My bestie Larry is a liberal guy, but he is a classic liberal guy, and my suspicion is he said no to an awful lot of the stuff that IDW was probably pushing on him too. Did he get inclusive? Sure did. Did he go off the deep end like Transformers did? No.
Nope.
That's what killed IDW. And then guess what? Those sales were so bad that Hasbro took the license away from them.
See, this comment right here. This is what to me, every toy line needs either a comic to back it or a TV series to go with it.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only way you're going to get out there. You're not just going to slap a toy in the toy aisle and kids to go buy it. That's not going to happen. That's why kids are not buying toys, along with video games and whatnot. But think about when we were kids and we were buying G.I. Joe. We had comics and we had the cartoon. And it fed us. Every day it fed us when we got home from school and on the weekends. And then when you walked into this Walmart and you saw them on the shelves, it just sparked that fire to want to play and relive them comics in that cartoon series in your front yard.
Masters of the Universe had the mini comics in the package.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
What's happened with Page Punchers, McFarlane and the Page Punchers, is, I think you guys will probably agree with this because you've all seen them. The designs on those figures is so out there and so outside of the main line of the titles that, was selling comics in the package. That didn't have much of a chance of succeeding.
Well, they're 2-inch little.
Well, even the big ones. The big ones were.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not good.
I see a lot of those be sold, but the smaller Page Punchers. I mean, kids don't want them little things. They want something huge,
Yeah,
So.
I wish somebody would come along with some imagination and some smarts and some actual appreciation for all of this and fix it. Because it'd be a real shame to see all of this stuff go away or see us all just relegated to going back to collecting old stuff. It would be a real shame if there wasn't new stuff. Boy, way back when we started this, we were talking about media support, right? Hardly any of this stuff has media support other than crappy movies that no one wants to watch, and including the kids, and half the time the parents don't even want their kids watching this stuff. And then they expect to sell a ton of toys based on stuff that no one watched. That's not the media support that we need.
Me and my wife was talking about movies today. You think about it, a family of 4 to go watch a movie now is in $125, $130 just to go watch a movie.
The last movie we went to see was Godzilla Kong. And my wife has always and forever will smuggle in candy. Yeah. Right. So you end up with the tickets and you end up with a drink or two usually that gets split between, her and I, and then the boys have their own. Yeah. It was almost $80.
Right.
Seriously.
Well, imagine if you'd bought that candy there for $6 a pop, how much it would have been $120, $130. It's crazy.
Yep. And it's not
crazy.
And the last two times we went to the movies was both Godzilla movies. -0, and we did Godzilla Kong. -1, whatever. Both fantastic movies. Haven't seen much of anything else that I would spend the money on to go to the movies. Well, that's sad. But we need the daily, the weekly. Look, we had cartoons in the afternoon. We had cartoon. I could really go back. We had cartoons for the most part, we had cartoons on Saturday mornings, right?
Yep.
Much later on in my childhood, cable TV became a thing. And then there were 2 channels out of Boston that we could pick up, 38 and 56, that showed up on the cable. Because back then, cable was still only like 12 channels instead of 3.
Yeah.
Right. So we had afternoon comics, but it was like Woody Woodpecker, Heckle and Jekyll, Dudley Do-Right. It was the old reruns
Rocky
of stuff.
Bullwinkle.
Yeah, right. So, but then the 80s hit, and what did we had? We had our monthly comics, right? We had our weekly cartoons, and we had our daily cartoons.
Yep.
To reinforce what it was that we were collecting, right?
Yep.
But the federal government decided that you can't advertise the toy line in the same cartoon that it represents, and blah 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 blah, which was a load of crap. Yes, were the half-hour cartoons a half-hour long, a 22-minute toy commercial? Yep, they were. But now all of a sudden we're looking back on that, going, you know what? That wasn't a bad thing, because those cartoons. Oh no, we're going to tease mom and dad to get us a new Duke or a new Roadblock or, an armadillo when we go to the store. Oh, heaven forbid that should happen. No, now we just plug them full of video games, and, we're seeing the results of that, where that was much better. That was much better idea. Somebody with money, love money, and a whole lot of courage would need to step up and fix this, and I don't know if that person exists. We hear an awful lot about people with money that love comics, and but they don't seem to do anything.
I don't know. It's just
Yep, the Godzilla movies. Yeah, and they're awesome.
that's like that new Kevin Costner movie. I was wanting to go watch it, but I heard it flopped bigger than anything.
It's 3 hours long, and it's like part 1 of 4 or 5.
I think it's part 1 of 3.
I mean, it's just like,
What is it? What's it called?
it's a Western.
Yeah, it's a Kevin Costner. He directed it, starred in it, and everything. But they was expecting it to make $12 million this weekend. Was opening weekend. It made 4.
Yeah.
So
I didn't even know anything about it. That's the first time I've
Yeah.
heard.
I can't remember the name of it.
I saw it today. I can't think of it either.
All I could think of was he should have stuck with Yellowstone.
It's
He's
to
done
the
with that, I
point
guess.
now. It's to the point now where you wait a couple of months and you can watch it at home on your big screen TV with your surround sound, which is you can pause and go to the bathroom, whatever you want to do. I mean, it's a lot more convenient to watch it at home than it is to go to the theater and see it. And
Something very interesting happened this past week. I don't know if you guys do this or not. All right, I'm sure you guys that are watching, you do the same thing. The minute something hits streaming, let's say, I'm just going to throw it out there, Amazon Prime, right? It shows up on Prime. It's $24.99 to it's $19.99 to rent, $24.99 to buy, right? Which we don't buy anything digital because you're not actually buying it. It's a long rental, but we've had that conversation before too.
Oh yeah.
So what do? You check every Tuesday, you check every Thursday, whichever rotation that particular streaming service is on, and you're waiting for it to drop to the $5.99, right? And it seems that usually they get within a week of DVD or Blu-ray release, right? It drops down to $5.99. Then you can rent it. Two movies that we've been waiting for: Abigail and Civil War, right? Would I pay $5 or $6 to watch both of those here at the house? Yeah, that's the point, right? But what have they been? Buy $24.99, rent $19.99.
Yeah.
Check them every week. Last Friday, I checked them. The option to rent Civil War disappeared. You can buy it or forget it. It ain't for rent. The same exact thing happened with Abigail about a day and a half, 2 days later. The option to rent disappeared. And it's just like, so is this is going to be the new game, I guess, right? That rentals are going to go away now. Either buy them or forget it, or wait however long, right? Because I didn't realize it, but Sony was the inventor of the DVD. Did you guys know that? The compact disc, actually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're still one of the leading manufacturers for writable Blu-ray and DVD discs in the world. And this was kind of shocking to me that a huge percentage, I can't remember the number, but a huge percentage of this physical media, the actual discs that this physical media is put on, is manufactured by Sony. And they have a plant in Japan that only employs 680 people. Well, Sony has decided that at the end of last week that they're going to lay off 40% of that workforce because Sony doesn't want anything to do with physical media anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So whether we want it or not, and whether the studios want to produce it or not, it's not going to matter because the cost of that disc is going to go up so exorbitantly that no one's going to bother with it. You see what I'm saying? So we're all kind of being corralled here to this digital crap where even, like I said, rental, I'm beginning to wonder if that's not the new norm, that rentals just as an option is going to go away. Go check it on Prime. Both of them did that this week. They both disappeared. You can't rent them. You can only buy them.
Well, you know, PlayStation, Sony is owned by Sony.
Yes.
And they've already announced it. They're going all digital.
Yeah.
You know, everything is going to be from now on will be digital. You won't be able to buy a physical game. So it's like I was telling me and my son was talking a couple weeks ago. Anytime you rent that game, if there's a dispute, they can pull it and you lose it.
Oh, it's long-term rental. I've lost videos and audiobooks because there was a licensing disagreement between Audible and actually the old Xbox 360 system where you could buy digital videos, digital movies. We're going to fight over money, so you don't have the rights to that anymore, and they take it away from you. They take it away from your library. It's gone. It's gone forever. You don't get it back. It's like, wait a minute, I bought that. Oh no, you actually didn't. That was a long-term rental. So everybody went gaga 2 weeks ago over Call of Duty Black Ops 6, right? Coming out in October. Everybody went gaga. Yay, COD, Black Ops, blah, 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 blah. So they let the hype churn. They put out this campaign of little mini ads, getting everybody hyped up. Then they put out this real cryptic trailer. Awesome, fantastic, right? Then they come out and say, even if you buy the physical disc, this game is so huge that you can't play it offline.
I was told 30 gigs.
Well, what good is the disc if you can't play it offline? Because the disc is a scam. Right? I mean, truthfully, the disc is a scam. It cannot be internet dependent for its content other than the initial download and still be, physical media. Now everybody's ticked off. And it's just like, well, you should be because we're getting pigeonholed here. Again, guys, somebody's gotta get brave. Somebody's gotta go, you know what? There is a market out there. I just need to wake it up. I need to remind the market that it exists, and go, yeah, you know what? No, this is a good thing.
If you'll go to any flea market, any vintage collection store, place like that, yard sale, and look at record prices, you will see record prices have gone from a couple of bucks to you're paying $20 or $25 for a record now.
Yeah,
because you can physically hold that in your hands and own it.
They can't take it from you.
Exactly.
I have a fantastic library of music, probably close to 600 songs on Spotify, and I love it. I think, you know what? I would, if it weren't for Spotify, I swear I would have gotten rid of all of the internet a long time ago. I'm not kidding. Because it's fantastic. You think of a word half the time. If you got Spotify and Shazam, there isn't a song anywhere that can escape you, right? And I've got some stuff on there that is just fantastic. It's not mine, though. You see what I got to give them that money every month, and it'll stay right there. And I have to that account has to log into the internet every 12 days or so or whatever, or it all disappears. That's not right, but you try to go out and find all of that music on a CD. You're not gonna.
or you'll spend like $500.
Oh,
Yeah,
some of it you remember. There was still the MP3 player. My daughter's got one. My daughter's still got a little MP3 player that she had as a kid.
It popped.
Yeah.
You went on iTunes and you paid $1 and you downloaded the song. You do realize that they still own all of that music.
Yep.
That can't be taken away from them. But somebody caught on to that and go, hey, wait, that's not acceptable, right? If we can't make money off something 100 times, then we're not going to do it anymore. It's just like...
This comment here also.
Yeah.
I remember when Walmart's book section was just ginormous.
Yep.
It was huge. You go in there and look at books for days, and now a half an aisle full of books, and that's it.
The largest company in the world right now is Amazon. Amazon started by selling used books.
Exactly.
Now they sell everything, but books.
Actually, they still sell books.
But yeah, and it's a figure of speech, please. It's just, I guess you're kind of as a collector and an appreciator of things. I'm just kind of at the point where you just kind of want to yell out, "Will somebody do something?"
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Because this is culturally, this is actually dangerous. Because did you guys see that Paramount deleted 30 plus years of MTV and Comedy Central content? It's gone. It no longer exists.
Oh.
It no longer exists. It's gone.
Yeah, I read about that.
And it's just like, wait a second. Does no one not see that? And I don't like MTV and I don't like Comedy Central content, but that's not the point. That's culturally significant, right? That's
Exactly.
you get to a point where things become history and it just disappeared.
I don't think if they can do that to that, they can do it to anything.
They can pick and choose. They can pick and choose the information of the future, and that's not good. That's not good. So you know what, guys? This kind of sounds strange, but we started about 2 years ago. We started buying what I affectionately call legacy Blu-rays. Right? These are movies and stuff that are culturally significant or significant to my likes. Buy it on Blu-ray and make sure you have something. We looked for this laptop that I'm putzing around with here. Doesn't use hardly any electricity whatsoever. It has no disk drive on it, but you can go buy a Blu-ray drive for $80 that'll plug right into this thing. You can keep a couple of cheap laptops around and a couple of those drives so that for however long in the immediate future or even the distant future, you can at least go and see these things. The Star Wars movies, right?
We already have those.
The prequels.
We don't.
Even the prequels, because guess what? Let's face it. After these last 3 sequels, the prequels look awesome. The Hobbit trilogy, Lord of the Rings trilogy. We got that the Calvin universe Star Trek movies, the new ones, because those are really cool. The G.I. Joe set, the cartoon set. I plan on buying more cartoon sets. We've got the Justice League Unlimited. We've got a couple of the Superman seasons. We got a couple of the Batman seasons. I really want to encourage you guys to start. John picked up a couple of those season sets that he found. Not last weekend before. One he had ordered the night before and then found for cheap the very next day. And then he picked up, what was it? Voyager, right?
Voyager's the one I picked up at the thrift store, yeah. All 7 seasons of Voyager. Star Trek.
He and I are standing there going through these box sets to make sure all the discs are there and not busted in half or, got crayon writing on the back of them.
Those actually have been sitting there for 4 months.
Well, they ain't sitting there now because John was wise enough to put them aside because that's all legacy stuff. It's these Godzilla movies. I can't buy them fast enough when they come out on Blu-ray because they're awesomely fun movies and they're great. Select DC Universe movies, some of the Marvel stuff. I would like to do the Infinity Stone saga from beginning to end on Blu-ray. Just because, you know what, for the most part, they were pretty cool. They started getting wonky at the end, but you know what, it was okay. Humble Bundle. Now, I know a lot of you guys aren't crazy about digital comics, and I'm not either. But I will tell you this. I went on to Humble Bundle, and I bought...
Humble Bumble.
Don't confuse people. Humble Bundle. I went on and I bought all 15 volumes of the IDW Turtles run and The Last Ronin, which is over 4,000 pages of comics content for $18.
Mm-hmm.
And a huge amount of that money goes to the Children's Miracle Network.
Right.
They have another bundle right now that has a huge collection of IDW Godzilla comics for $18. I think there's like 20 volumes to that for $18. Now, I know what you're going to say. This is going to sound bad, but they can take that away from you, right? Yes, they can. Unless you screenshot every one of those pages.
What if you download it through a USB?
And then put it on a USB.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we got to start getting creative and start supporting things like that compendium set. I get it, guys. The timing on that was bad, and the expense of it was bad. But I'm telling you, that sent a strong message about what comics buyers actually want. That's the number one comic campaign in history now. By dollar, I know a lot of the guys, the Good Omens guys were going nuts over the numbers. There were more people that supported this than the Joe. Oh, shut up. It's the number one earning comic book Kickstarter in history. That's pretty significant. Over 10,000. Over 10,000. That's a lot for a property that's 40 plus years old. Especially, for what amounted to a $350 set of books. That's a lot. That's a lot. So I would strongly encourage all of you, if you can, you should be, I'll say it, did I get in trouble? Whatever. You ought to be putting away food, you ought to be putting away water, and you ought to be putting away media.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm serious.
I'm not even sure if that would give
I was like, I found this the other day at Walmart.
Why not?
$14.
Kids in the future are going to need something to watch.
I loved this show when I was young.
It was cool, wasn't it?
And now, guess what? Somebody comes and takes this, it's going to be one heck of a fight.
Yeah. As long as you can maintain players, which is easier to do. Start stockpiling. How's that? Does that make sense to you?
Yep.
Just start putting things away, because if you can't see what's happening here, then I'm sorry, but start stockpiling stuff that matters. How's that?
What was the name of that card show we went to yesterday?
Flip show.
I was able to pick up actually a disc that I've wanted for a while for $8,
Mm-hmm.
and it has everything and it's barely scratched, so I'm happy.
Who was that?
It's on the bottom.
I know, it's fine, but
I'm pretty happy about
it's the scratches on the front side that you actually have to watch out for.
Really?
Disc Doctor. You guys remember the Disc Doctor?
I do. Yes, I do.
No, they know what it is. I'm going to tell you right now, that is something that every one of us should be tracking down.
Oh, yeah.
I have the original old manual one that still works perfectly fine.
Yeah. I remember that one, too.
But I was talking to guys at GameStop, and they were talking about discs that come in damaged. It's just like, you guys don't have disc doctors anymore? The kid goes, a what? Do you have any thousands upon thousands of discs was saved because of disc doctors?
Oh, yeah.
Here, it's the Game Doctor.
DVDs,
Yeah, it's all the same, bud.
CDs, everything.
Yep. You sit here with your little squirt bottle with water and rubbing alcohol, and you right, you do that.
35, 40 seconds, you good.
Right, and then you go, switch directions. Some of the worst crap discs ever were playable again because of this little thing.
Yep.
But they don't make those anymore. Did you guys know that? They don't make them anymore.
Nope.
Go get yourself one.
I remember-
I'm not kidding. Go get yourself one.
This will save your life.
I remember
I don't know if
VHS
it'll save
tapes.
your life,
They'd break. I'd put them together and put a piece of Scotch tape on each side. And they'd
Yeah.
play just fine. You have a little click where the sound would go off, but it would work. I mean,
but
That's something. If you find new VHSs, like what was it? A copy of Back to the Future, still sealed, went for several $1,000s here a few months ago.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll tell you that cellophane in that tape is deteriorating so fast now that don't try to play it because it'll snap.
Yeah.
It's
That's like a lot of people's looking for the original Star Wars VHS because they're the original theatrical releases before they added the
pre-special editions. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't get those on DVD. You can't get the original.
No.
They're all the special edition now.
Right.
Yep.
There is a set of Star Wars VHS around here somewhere that are pre-special edition. So yeah,
I had them in old Fox boxes a long time ago. Guess where I got them at? Guess how much I paid for them? I got them a penny a piece from Columbia House.
Oh, there you go.
You remember
Yep.
that?
There you go. Oh yes, yes.
That's
I remember getting them out of the mailbox, pulling them out. I was all right. I went there, pop Star Wars, and started watching it right away. I was, oh.
But the absolute worst thing to ever try to deal with, though, because they'd send you 3 crap CDs or something, and you'd have to send them back, and then they'd say, "We never got those back. Now you're paying for them." It's like, no. Everybody got suckered into the Columbia House scam.
Yeah.
I swear, everybody that ever did got burned. But
Oh yeah.
I think
It's funny if you ever watch the Goldbergs.
yes,
Yeah.
They had an episode about Columbia House where he was putting them in different assumed names. I actually did that. I had like 4 accounts because I was getting like VHS tapes left and right. So that was actually a true story. I'm sure a lot of people did that.
Oh yeah, because geez, what was it? You get 15 CDs for a penny or whatever it was, right? Or cassette tapes back in the day. Columbia House were actually cassette tapes to begin with.
Cassettes, yeah.
Yeah.
It was the good old days.
So, anyways, that was an interesting hour.
Actually an hour and 3 minutes.
I really, it's something that's really bothering me now is that it's legacy stuff. If we're not very, very careful, we're gonna lose everything if we're not real careful.
Mm-hmm.
So support what you can, put away what you can, and just be aware. Because that is the latest thing, too, that a lot of these digital movies and digital music and digital books especially are actually being edited within your libraries.
Yeah.
You watch a digital movie in your library one day and you watch it again and there'll be content that's either removed or changed.
Corey
Because
said that.
they decide,
Here's a comment that tells you that right away.
Yeah.
Comment right here.
I just said that.
Yes. Yep. What's the ET? All the guns were edited out of ET.
Yep.
That one popped up a couple of years ago.
Really?
And Spielberg said, "No, we did that on purpose. That's not appropriate for that type of Oh, shut up.
Nope.
You made millions off of it in 1983. Now all of a sudden it's inappropriate.
Yeah.
So it's all good. Just put stuff away. How's that? It's important for these guys. A lot of the stuff is important for them because, out of sight, out of mind, things get forgotten pretty quickly. So, and what worries me is we've got a ton of nostalgia going on right now. We really do.
Mm-hmm.
Once this wave fades, I don't think it's coming back again. So would you stop, please? Because no one is nostalgic about what they're putting out now. Let's face it.
It was pretty nostalgic.
Yeah.
How old is this?
1978?
No, this is 1977.
No, 1978.
No, that says 77.
Oh, I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see that.
Oh yeah.
Copyrighted 77 because that's
Speaking
when the
about
movie
nostalgic, I'll show y'all something right here. We've all seen these in Walmarts.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And they went on clearance for like $7 now, and I wanted to myself just to look at them and feel them. So I bought a couple of them this weekend
Mhm.
to just get a look at them, to feel them and see how they felt. And I'm gonna tell you,
Powers of the Force, like.
they're not.
It's
They're
time to go.
nostalgic.
Yes, it is.
Why?
Because the dog's over there eating something, so it's time to go.
He's not.
They are nostalgic.
He's licking his paw.
They are your 5 points of articulation, like the old Star Wars. They have that feel when you pull them out of the package. I mean, gun, arms up, legs out, and that's it. Head turn. I picked this one up, the Storm Trooper. About called him Storm Shadow. And Darth Vader.
Yep.
They are, I ain't gonna pay $12 or $13 for them, but for $7, yeah, they do have that nostalgic feel.
Sure.
I mean, you've got the Star Wars, what is it called, vintage line.
Mm-hmm.
Those don't feel like this.
Yeah.
These feel vintage, kind of like the Super Friends that are out now.
Yeah, the Superpowers line, yeah.
The Super Friends line. That's nostalgic feel.
Yep.
And these are the same way. You see them for $7. Some of them even dropped to $5 by now.
Wow.
I mean,
Yep.
if you want to feel that nostalgic
you
feel,
got that.
I finally picked up the Whirly Bat this past weekend.
What do you think?
I like it.
I like it too. I don't know why, but I do.
But it's unfortunate Batman's making 2 fists, so he can't really hold on to the handlebars. But but yeah, I like it. I think it's pretty cool.
Does it feel nostalgic?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, the figures and all do perfectly. This.
Oh, the Supermobile.
Because they didn't do this in the original Superpowers line, or at least I don't remember.
Yeah, they did.
Did they? This
Yeah.
right here?
Yeah,
No,
the
but it didn't
Supermobile.
have the fist, though, did it?
Yep, I think it
I
did.
was thinking, because I remember having the little Erdl Hot Wheels size
Yes, yep.
metal of this.
Yep.
So that's why this is nostalgic for me, because I
Yep.
had the little figure. But I was thinking the original Superpowers looked different.
It might have.
I have to
but
look
it
that up because
looks the same to me. I don't know.
I was thinking it didn't have the fist. I was thinking it was just
I think it did.
a shit. I'll have to look that up and say, whoop.
Boop.
Of course, got Superman.
Eject.
Pop up thing. Right there. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, you got the power punch. I think it's cool. Of course, I got it on clearance. I got this on clearance in the back wing for back when I first clearanced them off, and
Yeah.
but now I'm kind of hooked on it because of this nostalgia. Because, like I said, it's the same articulation that the vintage ones had.
Yeah.
You got 7 points. They would bend at the knees, and then you had the regular 5 points, and just like the vintage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think they're cool. That's and to me, like the Power of the Force that come out back in '95, all the way up through Episode 1, and it was just not long after Episode 1 when they started adding all the articulation to the figures in after that. But to me, those the Episode 1 figures and the Power of the Force figures, they're nostalgic to me because they're just like the originals. They got the 5 points articulation and
Right.
they seem like the Star Wars figures in the 3 3/4 inch size. When they went to adding all the articulation, some of them looked okay, but some of them just looked wonky because it was too much. It didn't,
And the plastic got real soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, 6-inch figure, the articulation's fine because you're a bigger figure, you can get more detail into it, But no, I love the old 3 3/4 inch Star Wars figures. I mean, and these, like Shane said, and here a while back, was it right before COVID when they actually come out? They come out with they still had like now they had the vintage collection, but they had those on. It looked like Darth Vader's helmet, fire around it, but they were 5 points of articulation too.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember if that was right before or right after COVID when those come out. and it was aimed at kids because they were less articulation, so they were cheaper. They were
Right.
like $9, $7 or something. I can't remember. And but yeah, I mean, you're looking at $20 now for a 3 3/4 inch figure from the vintage collection. And I mean, for $5 more, you can get a 6-inch figure. You know?
Yeah.
Here's one right here. Speaking of nostalgia, which line do each of you wish they would bring back?
Oh gosh,
made by whom?
Oh boy.
Well, I definitely would love a Battlestar Galactica.
That's an actually excellent choice.
I would love the vintage with the Cylons and the Vipers and.
I don't want one. I don't want to bring back nothing that I used to love at all, and neither does my wife.
I gotta tell you though, so much of this stuff is already being reproduced now.
That's kind of a hard one though, really.
Yeah, I'm gonna date myself here.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna date myself here. It's gonna sound, you know what? I bet there's a bunch of people who are probably going to agree with me. The three of us, I know for a fact, the three of us grew up poor.
Oh yeah.
The truth is, throughout the early 70s, right through until 78, 79, when the Star Wars toys really became a reality, didn't have a lot of toys. The Godzilla and the Shogun Warrior I had, those things only cost a couple of dollars. And literally, they were $2 or $3 in the store. Shogun Warriors are not expensive. I could putz around in the neighborhoods and make enough money to buy a Shogun Warrior. Star Wars figures were $1.77 at the JCPenney or at the Woolworths downtown. But before that, the coolest and most plentiful toys that I had came from cereal boxes.
Oh yeah.
I wish somebody would do that again. You know what? That sounds silly, but you know what? Some of the best stuff we had as kids came out of a cereal box.
Oh yeah. Do they still even do that? Do they still?
No. Or a Cracker Jack box.
What's that?
A Cracker Jack box.
Yeah, there was some cool stuff that came out of Cracker Jacks too. Yep.
Decoder rings.
Yeah.
Remember the old decoder rings?
Emmett's been reading the old comics. Reading through the old comics, and he's been asking about X-ray glasses, joy buzzers, sea monkeys.
Yeah.
Was that stuff real? Well, it was real, but it didn't do any of the things that the advertisement did.
Yeah.
But no,
I think the X-ray glasses was the biggest letdown.
Right? Did you? Yeah, I know. I was awfully hopeful for those, but just
weren't we all?
Just explaining to him, you do realize if it weren't for those companies peddling that stuff at 59 cents or whatever, comic books never would have been printed because that was the advertisers.
Yeah. I don't know how many Marvel comics I got. It's got sea monkeys on the back cover.
Brine shrimp eggs. Yeah, I was heartbroken when one of my older brothers told me what those were. They were brine shrimp. That's what those were, brine shrimp eggs.
Yep. The Mego superheroes, yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah, but you know what? They remade the Mego superheroes, and they sat at Walmart.
Hey, man, welcome to the show.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, the remakes of the Migos, no one bought them. That's interesting.
We all knew why we wanted X-ray glasses. Y'all wanted to look through my hand.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was exactly what I wanted them for. Didn't have a thing to do with Naomi or Stormy that lived up the street. Didn't have anything
Not
to
at all.
do with them.
Not at all.
I don't know, man. To pick a line, like I said, I
think for me, I remember the MASH toy line, and I would really love for them to redo the MASH toy line with a whole a lot of play sets to go with it, and do it in the 3 3/4 inch style. It would to me that would be awesome. Jeeps and little helicopters and everything, but once again, we're talking military. Who would pick that up?
Yeah, for a show that's been off the air for almost 50 years now.
Yeah.
But
that would be, to me, that would be an awesome line.
Boy, to come up, like I said, most of these lines have been.
A big one when I was a kid was $6 Million Man from the late 70s.
Or Fall Guy, they redone the Fall Guy movie.
Oh yeah.
Fall Guy was a good one.
I had the truck, the little Ertl Fall Guy truck, about that big. I don't know whatever happened to it. I wish I still had it. Well, actually, I think I had one that was that big too, a bigger one. I don't know what happened to neither one of them.
Yeah, I remember seeing the Green Arrow too. I only saw him a couple times, but I don't.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. I expect to see Secret Wars somehow, some way reappear, but I'm going to bet it's going to be in 6-inch.
Yeah.
Because the 3 3/4 inch Marvel figures that they released a few years ago, they didn't really do very well, did they?
Yeah.
Select characters got bought up, but the rest of them just kind of.
And those were kind of supposed to be like retro, but I'm not really sure what they were retro of because I don't ever remember figures on cards like that. I mean, I love the artwork on them. I think they're great. I mean, they looked awesome, but I know Toy Biz did, when they, they done several figures. Gosh, Toy Biz done a ton of Marvel figures there in the 90s.
Oh, sure did.
And, but yeah, I'm surprised they hadn't done Secret War. I suspect we'll see some Secret Wars carded retro figures for the Marvel Legends, the 6-inch scale, like you said, because they're so far all the cartoons they pretty much covered. I think that they've done now. They got the Iron Man's coming out now. With the looks like the old Toy Biz and the old Toy Biz Iron Man packaging from the old Toy Biz line.
Yeah,
that
for that
sort of
cartoon.
thing. So I suspect we'll see Marvel or Secret Wars sooner or later. I'm surprised we haven't saw. Well, actually, Matty Collector did do those 6 superpower figures, or 5, that had to build a figure Calabac with it. And those were cool. And
Valiverse with real hair on their figures now.
No.
Probably not real hair.
Like the fuzzy-headed G.I. Joes?
Probably just fuzzy-headed.
I have to be perfectly honest with you, that's a stupid gimmick. That's kind of keying into a nostalgia that probably should be left alone.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool in 1972. Trust me, I remember it, but not so much now.
Don't get me wrong, Valiverse figures, they're really cool, but all they're doing is just ripping off everything from everybody else. That's all they're doing. I mean, come up with some original content, and then we'll talk about it. But you gonna rip off fuzzy heads from Action Force? Come on, man. Just leave it.
I'm still stuck on it. You know, what? I am actually gonna go with what John said, and the original, and I do mean the original, not even the second series of that show back in 1980 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica. Because let's face it, the Colonial Viper that we got back then was absolutely horrible. It was a crappy little ship with a head sticking out of a block of plastic in the cockpit. The Cylon Vipers, weren't they?
There were Vipers was what the ones at Starbuck and
the Colonial Vipers.
Colonial Vipers, yeah.
What the heck was the Cylon ships, the half dome things with the 2-seat cockpits in them?
Yeah. Did they even have a name? They're just Cylon ships.
Just Cylon fighters or whatever.
Yeah.
The figures were horrible. The ships were terrible. And I can't believe that show was only on for a season and a half. But every one of us remembers it.
Yeah.
Raiders, yes, Cylon Raiders, exactly.
Raider.
Yep. Yeah, I do the original Battlestar Galactica.
Thanks, Tim, for that.
Yes, thank you. About Buck Rogers, Beady. You remember?
Yeah, Buck Rogers. That's another one. Yeah.
That one. That was a huge show. How about the Man from Atlantis? Do you guys ever go to the beach and swim like the Man from Atlantis? Do you remember how he used to swim with his hands right next to his, like a dolphin, and his feet together, and he just undulated through the water?
Wasn't that Bobby Ewing?
Yes.
Was. Yeah. I can't think of his name. Patrick Duffy. Patrick Duffy.
Yeah,
Duffy,
the Man from Atlantis. Yep.
Yeah.
I think that's how I broke my back the first time, was trying to swim like the Man from Atlantis.
We got people watching, scratching their head. What? I've never even heard of it. What is it? We're really telling our age now.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, but you know what? McFarlane put out that Batman set from the New Adventures of Batman and Robin that was on for one season in 1976 or 77? But we all Manimal, there you go. I remember that.
Oh yeah.
How about the ISIS and Shazam Power Hour?
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. They kind of frown on naming the show ISIS now, I think.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's copyrighted. They can't use that anymore. Manimal. I remember Manimal. Jeez Louise.
What about you remember Bring 'Em Back Alive?
Bring 'Em Back Alive.
No, it was sort of an Indiana Jones type kind of, but he would go out and find like animals, like he would fight against poachers and all that, and bring animals back to the zoo and all. It was it only run one season, but it was early '80s if I remember right. It was come right off the heels of Raiders of the Lost Ark, I think.
I remember watching
Tales of the Golden Monkey.
How about Born Free? You want to talk Born Free? You guys remember Born Free? You remember that show?
I don't remember that one. Born Free.
It was very early in the '70s, about the English family that lived on the game preserve in Africa, and they had 2 pet lions. And
like I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Zorro, Tarzan.
Hey, we had a cool Tarzan cartoon when I was a kid.
Yeah.
We didn't have to just watch the old movies. We had a cool Tarzan cartoon.
Oh, Tron. How about Tron? They done toys of Tron back in the day, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Mm-hmm. The Black Hole. Remember the Black Hole?
The Black Hole, yeah. I remember those.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was quite a thing.
Guys, we're really showing our age right now.
Those were Mego, I think, put those out, didn't they? Or
Ertl
or Ideal, one or the other.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're here to show our age, aren't we? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, that's. I don't know, man. I got a bunch of toys running through my head, and some things are better. Maybe some things are better left in the past. You know what I mean? They don't need to be remade.
What my wallet was saying.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I would. Yeah. If it weren't for my wallet, if that wasn't a stumbling block, then I would be up for anything.
Well, yeah. You know what? Some things really shouldn't be made, and let me prove my point. I was sitting there watching a cooking show this afternoon, passing out in my chair, and a commercial comes on for a new CBS show, and Jeff Bridges, the Bridges brothers, right? It's Jeff, and what's the other one? The one that was not
Bo Bridges.
Bo Bridges. Bo Bridges is standing in an elevator with Kathy Bates. You know Kathy Bates, Misery Kathy Bates, right?
Mm-hmm.
Standing in an elevator and they're chit-chatting back and forth, and I kid you not, he turns and looks at her and says something to the effect of, well, we're glad you're here, Matlock.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm looking at it and I go, no way. And then sure enough, the title screen pops up and it's Matlock coming soon to CBS, and it's just like,
Yep.
Oh yeah. I heard
did see
something about that.
I apparently we're getting murder. She wrote too. So
Murder He wrote.
Yeah, I know I made that up, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me any.
Me neither. Me neither.
I don't understand. Certain things are just not shouldn't be remade.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I'm guessing. Yeah, go ahead.
How about some Yo Joe June discussion?
Yeah, if we have to.
Let's change it into that.
Yeah, that was fun
for
that was fun for what it was.
I would like if it didn't cost so much. Like I said, if money wasn't the issue, I would love to see a line of Lost in Space action figures from the old TV show because there's tons of characters they could do.
Did you guys watch the new one?
I did.
From Netflix.
Yeah, it was actually very good.
I watched the first season. I never did finish it. I got through the first season and I never did watch season 2. Is it 3 seasons?
Just 2.
Is it just 2?
Yeah, very good though. Yeah, that's what we were saying, Corey. Yeah, it's Kathy Bates. Kathy Bates is Matlock.
Yep.
Weird. So, Nemesis Immortal. That is not a mistake, by the way. They could not use the name Enforcer because what is it? What's the video game company that did the Resident Evil stuff? They own that name.
Nemesis Enforcer?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. I can't remember the video game company that did the Resident Evil series, but they copyrighted the name Nemesis Enforcer. That is why it was not used in the more modern figures. When they changed it to Nemesis Immortal, that's because who the heck was it? Why can't I remember the name of that company? Like it matters. They own it anyways. Capcom, thank you.
Capcom, yeah.
Capcom owns the name Nemesis Enforcer, so we get Nemesis Immortal.
Yep.
Awesome figure. He's freaking huge.
Oh yeah.
He is huge.
He is gonna be huge.
Yep, huge. Now, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, but I'm guessing it's from this box. There is a picture of Globulus in the artwork. Did you guys see that?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
Well,
guessing,
I have it, but I don't.
I'm guessing it comes from this box. So everybody was kind of going gaga over that, but maybe that's the really big figure that they're talking about for PulseCon, which would be kind of cool. But this sucker is huge. This is becoming.
Speaking of which,
yeah,
we were talking about the Iron Grenadiers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you guys have read Destro #1 yet.
No,
but it does. They do show the spoiler in there in the comic. You know, his little ship that he had, or little flying thing. Actually, it showed a couple of Iron Grenadiers flying, 2 of them.
Oh wow!
So it's not just Destro's ride apparently, but I suspect we'll be getting an Iron Grenadier Destro with a despoiler sometime in the near future.
I believe so too.
Much like the Serpentor set was.
Yep.
Then
So
that makes sense.
Yep.
All you guys out there, how y'all feel about this Nemesis Immortal?
I think he's awesome.
He is big, that's for sure.
Yeah. He's gonna be huge. There's no doubt about that. That's a clearer picture.
Yeah, this is not a repaint. This is a brand new buck or a buck from Marvel Legends or something possibly. Big figure. Any estimates on that might be a Marvel Legends buck?
From my understanding, they cannot use Marvel Legends bucks because they're, I guess, because of Disney. They cannot use parts from other Disney properties on their other properties.
Really?
That's what I read somewhere.
That's a possibility.
Boy. I guess they make them and Disney owns them or partly owns them or something. I don't know. But
thank you, Chris. That's on the Once a Man box. The Globulus.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you for that. Yep.
But I believe I read that somewhere here. Gosh, a couple years ago.
No, it wouldn't surprise me any the way things are.
Corey says it looks like an armadillo buck.
Yeah, I don't know who Armadillo is, so you may be right. You couldn't prove it one way or the other by me. I'm kind of with Chris
He's
on
definitely
this.
huge.
The Cobra Law stuff came and went with the movie. But
I'm going to be the odd person here because I do like the Cobra Law stuff.
it's being revived pretty heavily in the comics.
Pythona's great. I'll be getting them.
She was a candidate for those X-ray glasses we were talking about earlier. This is going to sound like a cop-out, guys, but other than the sublines, I'm almost just so sold into the classified line at this point in time that I will definitely be trying to get this figure and the one that we just mentioned a minute ago. Because I think they're definitely major players in the new comic. I think we're spoiler safe on that one. Yeah, this is I haven't seen this before. That's very cool.
Yeah, that's the complete transformation.
Yeah, that must be a promo from Hasbro, right?
Yeah, no longer a. Hasbro's actually leaked these photos out themselves.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
There's. I mean, like I said, I'm going to be the odd man because I did like the Cobra Law stuff, and you'll see in the art on the box here. There's Nemesis Immortal in the back, and Mr. Globulis there.
Oh, there he is.
Yep.
So I'm hoping we get Globulis before the end of the year because he's my bonus pick.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Pythona was my bonus pick, so I'm hoping she'll get announced by the end of the year too.
Nope. I'm sorry, James, but you are crazy.
That would
think,
be cool.
Yeah.
That would be cool.
It sure would. It sure would.
Yeah.
But they've said repeatedly that HasLabs are going to be aircraft, and it's just this that Globulus right there is the image that I saw before.
Mm-hmm. And everybody's thinking about this Falcon down here.
Oh.
The roadblock is a different roadblock too.
Yeah, his face is really thin, isn't it?
On the artwork here.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, that daggone Falcon is just as ugly as the other one we got.
Yeah, that's not a huge improvement, is it?
So I mean,
that's once a man Falcon, right?
Or never was a man.
Uh-huh.
I think they're trying to do their best to make sure that only people there gets the once a man, except for the select few they're going to release. After.
And it is different because they are there at the show. You will go and buy them, and they will hand them to you. These are not pre-orders.
Nope.
But the whole, you got to make a reservation and give them a time when you're going to come pick up your stuff. Man, I hate Comic-Con exclusives because Comic-Con is so exclusive to even be able to go to that I've always thought San Diego exclusives were really unfair.
Yeah. I don't see how people are saying this is a Flint. I don't remember Flint being in the movie that much.
Oh no! This is movie stuff. That's not Flint.
Yeah, this is Falcon. He was the main focus on this.
Yeah.
So
Chris talking about. Yeah, that's. I think we've heard that too. Heart Wrencher. That's I don't. Did they remake her in the IDW run? Because I mean, the whole Devil's Due stuff is disavowed. I mean, they don't recognize those characters. So, Helix was remade in the IDW run. So she was a carryover. Kamakura was a carryover, but Heart Wrencher, did she pop up in the IDW run? Do you remember, John?
I don't remember.
I never really read the IDW run after that.
See, I haven't read it either, so I intend to, but I just haven't done it. But her is a carryover from what is officially called the Disavowed. They're disavowed. Those books, that whole entire storyline. I don't know if that one makes sense. I just don't know.
I just know she was in the 25th style. She come with the Dreadnought Jeep,
or in that 6-pack.
Yeah, she come with a Jeep with it was a con exclusive, or no, it was a Fun Publications website exclusive.
She's in the Dreadnought pack too.
You're thinking about Zanya.
Zanya. Yes, I am thinking
Zanya's
about Zanya.
in the pack.
Yes, I am. I'm sorry. Yes, I am.
I wish they would do a Zanya figure. I really do. I would like one of those. But like I said, I don't know if they will or not.
So no, you're right. I got my continuity screwed up. Thank you for that.
I just wished, because I know what they done. They were saving money, so they just used the bottom half of a regular Cobra Commander. But I really wish one leg, the pants leg, was tore and the shoe was off, and he had the reptile foot sticking out. That would have made it look so much cooler. But I know they were saving money, so they just popped the lower.
They added a little paint on the bottom of it here to look like the goat of the snake.
Yeah, I guess so, right? Yeah.
And try to make it.
So, how many of the chrome face heads from the retro is going to end up on this one? Because that doesn't look like it's chrome, does it?
I don't think it is. I don't think it's back.
Boy, that artwork on that roadblock is distracting, because that's not roadblock.
It draws your attention really big time.
I mean, that looks like some kind of monster. I mean, just Globulus looks more healthy than roadblock.
Yeah. But I was going to say, Globulus looks real skinny too. His head looks real thin. Now
that's how they've got him drawn in the comics also.
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know, man. I don't know. Back to the HasLab. I think, I really do. I think they've. Well, let's face it. In that very first stream for Yojo June, he was standing right there with the Rattler insignia on his shirt and told us all to read between the lines, and you'll know what the HasLab is.
Yep.
I think it is, again, like the Dragonfly was. It is probably the worst kept secret in toys.
Oh yeah.
I think it's going to be, but they did promise something big for PulseCon too, so we'll see. We'll see in 3 weeks.
For me, Yojo June just was terrible. Wasn't really any. I mean, most of the stuff they revealed, we already knew was coming. Like Daltone and Saw Vipers, we all kind of knew they were already coming. So I mean.
You know what, Shane? I 100% agree with you. It was kind of disappointing, but then when the report came out, what was it, Thursday, that the new ongoing G.I. Joe comic series doesn't start until November, it made sense to me. It made sense to me that I don't think there's going to be a whole lot for reveals through November, because let's face it, we've got figures in the next year already. With the HasLab being thrown in it and getting last year's HasLabs delivered, I think we're going to get bombed with a bunch of new renditions of characters after November because of that comic. Yeah, it was.
Speaking of the comic, supposedly that's the cover.
That's the team, as it supposedly.
And just this whole Baroness thing just throws me off, man.
Yeah, it's sort of like she's bad, but they're turning her good or something. I mean,
Yeah, they're
Trying.
making it good.
looks like CoverGirl up there in the top right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I don't know who the other woman, the one with the red and black on is there.
Me neither.
That's got to be a new character there.
Yeah, I think it is.
And the big guy's Mercer, right? Ain't that who that
That's
was?
Mercer.
Mercer, yeah.
Yeah, that's Mercer. We have
Is
no
that-
idea who the Transformer is that's laying there.
I was going to say, looks like Hound, because that looks like what Clutch is sitting on looks like the front of a Jeep.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Wasn't Hound? Hound was the Jeep, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy in the suit with the plate carrier and the lever action. People are speculating that is the character from Transformers Beast Wars that was recruited to Joe at the end of that movie. I'm not sure there's that much of a tie between this comic and those movies. But I don't know. I don't know who this is, but I will say this. There are some I don't know. There's some prominent characters conspicuously missing from this.
Well, this red chest plate down here kind of looks like Prime.
Yeah, that's definitely an Autobot signature. And Decepticon there that Command CC's standing on.
That looks like Soundwave.
Maybe it's just a big old pileup of them. I don't know.
And then you got here Sound, like John said, Soundwave.
Yeah, that does look like Soundwave, the cassette deck.
That looks like a Megatron arm to me.
And
Is that
is
the
Destro?
that's the arm that Optimus has been running around with? So
Yeah.
Is Destro got a metal arm
Well, it shows.
you got something going on
or
there.
some kind of armor?
Armor, I guess.
Yeah.
Flying bats. Interesting that Scarlet is nowhere to be seen,
Mm-hmm.
or Jinx for that matter. Which
Yep.
I got a few of us a little nervous, but I'm trying to be fair.
Yeah.
Am I surprised not to see Snake Eyes? No, because I think they're going to try to stay away from him.
I also believe that.
I think he's going to end up with his own book.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to try to stay away from old Snake Eyes, which, you know what, isn't probably a bad idea. As far as trying to build a Joe continuity, Snake Eyes is one of those characters. If you're not very careful, you just take the whole thing over again.
Yeah.
But Stalker definitely alluded to him, right? I mean, I think that's safe to say. The old friend showed me that comment. You knew who he was referring to. Yeah, I read that too, Chris. That Joe fans are going to be really disappointed if they're looking for a big Joe presence.
From what I heard and read, it wasn't even going to be any Joes that we would even know.
And that's probably true too. That's entirely true. Yeah, we may not.
But who knows?
I don't. All bets are off as far as this one. I'm still very thankful that Mr. Larry is running the original continuity still. How's that?
Yep.
And hopefully that doesn't end up jumping a shark or two before it's over.
Yeah, it's good book.
So, no, I haven't actually gotten my comic shop moved, and with a couple of other unforeseen circumstances, I have not been able to get my books in, 5 weeks. So that's something I got to try to get taken care of. Maybe next weekend. I don't know.
Yeah, I got to go get mine also.
So the blonde girl, the blonde Cobra girl, the only thing that I can think of, look at that, the original.
Yeah. It was.
I could have sworn it was the same.
Yeah.
Hang on, John.
It's small. It's smaller. They don't have.
It is really.
And it's
So
only
what
got just a little
Supermobile am I
small.
thinking about?
Just had a little small rudder there at the top.
Boy, I remember a Supermobile with fists on it. What am I remembering?
It's got to be the Ertl, because that's the only thing I ever saw that looked like that was the little Ertl toy.
Yeah,
It
maybe.
was metal.
Huh.
Yeah. That's what made me want to get that one, because it reminded me of that little Ertl Supermobile.
So what was Baroness's twin sister's name? The imposter there.
Chameleon.
Chameleon. I've seen speculation that the blonde Cobra girl on that cover is Chameleon. The only thing that I can think of when I see her is that the blonde Cobra Trooper that Destro was messing with. Remember in the cartoon episode?
Oh yeah.
Can't remember her name, but that's the only thing I can think of when I see her is that blonde girl that Destro was. That she had a big crush on Destro. So yeah, that's speculation. I don't know who that character is.
Maybe a totally all new character.
Could be, yeah, could be. Yeah, could very well be.
Because you could expect they'll throw some new characters in there just so they have them for the classified line.
I think Wolf Spider.
Oh yeah,
I think Wolf Spider is going to show up. Him and Mole Rats came and went, and are back up on Pulse mysteriously all of a sudden in stock. The Crimson Alley Vipers, Lowlight, and Wolf Spider seem to be the forgotten figures all of a sudden. Have you noticed that? No one ever talks about those figures.
Mm-mm.
They kind of came and they went, and no one really seems to care. And I never got Crimson Alley Vipers. So you know what? I figured, oh crap, they're going to be $60, $70. I went on eBay. They're still $25, $30.
Yeah.
They still got them on Pulse for $24.99.
Yep.
Yeah, they're not rare. There was a wave or two, half waves, or however you want to look at it, that just kind of came and went, but you could kind of tell, like the Mole Rats and Wolf Spider, they were trying to go somewhere with those figures.
Yeah.
And it's almost like it was too early, or they didn't do it well enough. It's kind of strange. You know, the Crimson Alley Vipers are just repaints. I mean, they're definitely forgotten figures, though, all of a sudden, because no one seems to, they're not even a blip on the radar. No one seems to care. And Lowlight, too, strangely enough. Lowlight is hard to come by, but the prices tell you he's not rare. It seems to, and from what I still don't have one. You guys got one?
What was that?
Lowlight?
Yeah, I got a lot.
It's a nice figure, right? I mean, it's
yeah.
Yeah, so
it's very close to the original.
So how do you end up with misses like that right in the middle of
I don't know.
Big hits? It's kind of weird. Boy, we've been all over the map tonight, haven't we?
That's what we do.
Well, you know what? It gives people an opportunity to talk about different things, I guess, and that's the point, right?
Yep.
We get nostalgic and we talk about all kinds of stuff. Hey, give me a minute. Corey. Thanks for the head, bud.
That's
all I wanted. I just wanted one of those heads for my extra Nightfall blue and gray Batman. It's absolutely perfect on this figure, and I knew it would be much better than the figure that head comes with.
Yeah.
So thank you for that, bud. I owe you one. Yeah, it looks great, don't it?
Yeah, it does.
It's entirely possible, Chris. It's almost like maybe they downplayed Lowlight because they were remaking him. He was getting doing a sub-team figure. It's entirely possible. I don't know.
They're putting a lot into that, seeing how Barbecue was the first Mad Marauder, and he's everywhere you can look now.
Yeah, they couldn't give him away.
I mean, people wasn't buying him at all. I don't know, man. This is that's weird to me.
So a lot of this is very weird. Like I said, how do you have a colossal miss in the middle of some really big hits?
Yeah.
And Mole Rats. You remember when they first showed the Mole Rats? It's like, oh, it's Energon. You remember everybody's freaking out?
Yep.
And, are those Toxo Vipers or are they Zombie Vipers? Or, and they came and they were sold out so fast and were sold out for months at Walmart. And now they're just, okay, never mind. You can have all you want because no one seems to care anymore.
I'm surprised they hadn't showed up in the comic yet.
And like I said, the comic isn't even going to be out until November. And I read an article the other day that they were talking about expect a slow start to that because Kirkman is going to try to ride this wave of success as long as he can and not do anything controversial to mess it up. but everybody's pretty convinced that sooner or later he'll do something controversial, and because that's what he does. Apparently, I never read the Walking Dead books. I never read Invincible, but this is he's like the rest of them. This is what he does. So this Joshua Williamson is famous for it, as a matter of fact. And the girl that's writing the Scarlet book is pretty militant. So we'll see, right, guys? That's kind of it. So let's talk briefly, because we only got a couple minutes. In August, give me the date for the Gadsden show.
Hang on just 1 second.
The
17th?
It's the week right after the FarleyCon, I think.
FarleyCon is the first weekend in August.
So it'd be the 2nd.
So that is put on by our friends at
1 second.
The 17th, maybe the 17th. Is FarleyCon the 3rd or the 10th?
No, it's that first week. I think FarleyCon is that first weekend in August.
So it'd be the 3rd, August 3rd. I'm thinking the Gadsden show's the 17th.
I'm thinking Gadsden's the 17th, yeah.
It'd be the 3rd weekend. I was thinking it was the weekend right after FarleyCon.
There it is! August
I did
17th. August 17th.
I didn't do it. I did it again.
Nice. So, yes, this is being put on by our friends at Wolf's Den. So, you know what? Mark your calendars. Get ready to go over and at least spend a day. You don't have to necessarily spend a bunch of money while you're there, but at least spend the day showing some support for a local startup show. How's that? Make sense?
Yep.
And he's done really good. He sold out pretty quickly on his vendor spots.
I got to tell you, I'm absolutely shocked he was able to pull this thing together as quickly as he did, because this has been something that's been discussed off and on for a while. And geez, I have tried, and I got within the first half a day and was frustrated beyond belief. And just kind of went, well, right back at you, Buckwheat, because I don't know if it's worth it. So hats off to them, because that's awesome. Janet from another planet. That's pretty awesome.
Janet.
Hello, Janet.
I'm not going to ask which planet, because it might stray off into places we don't want to go. So,
Jonathan did a good job getting this Collectorcon together.
no, I'm sorry. In all seriousness, no. He really did, and I looked into two separate venues, and one of them ticked me off so bad that it's just like, I don't know how in the world anybody has a show there, because
just three grumpy old men sitting here.
Pretty much, yeah. Pretty much.
We will be. It says autographs. We will be signing autographs.
We will be signing autographs.
Oh, absolutely. $20 a pop. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do a sketch for you for $200.
I can't promise how good it'll be, but
I didn't say anything about it. I said I'd do a sketch for you.
I can do a stick figure sketch for.
I can draw a smiley face.
See, look at this. John's already undercutting me. He'll do one for $50. It's horrible.
A stick figure.
That's terrible. That's terrible. I was
outside it.
I was gonna do I'll do a drawing of Dead Man without his costume on. There you go. Yes, Shane will definitely color in the sketch. Yes, he's the resident colorist.
I can't promise I'll stay in the lines, but I'll give it my best.
He does inks too. He does some of our inks and most of our lettering, so it'll work out just fine.
Yeah. You ever seen my handwriting?
Should have been a doctor, right?
Doctors write better than I do.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I
write half the time.
So we're winding down. So you know what? Hopefully by next week we will have better pictures of some of the Comic-Con exclusives that are going to pop up at San Diego.
When is Comic-Con?
It's in 3 weeks.
Okay. I didn't know. I couldn't remember if it was in middle or end of July.
Yeah, it's in 3 weeks. In 3 weeks. I just looked at the date. Now I can't remember it because I am ridiculously tired, gentlemen. So,
Me too.
I know Loyal Subjects has got at least two turtle exclusives, and then NECA has a turtle exclusive if you're into the TMNT stuff. Oh, thank you, gentlemen, for posting that Donnie and Mikey Last Ronin figures have been showing up at certain Walmarts. And apparently, Donnie is the one that's hard to come by, so which would make sense. So, don't take them all. I'm going to try to find one here right off if I can. That was really it. Once a Man, the HasLab reveal. There is a Superpowers. McFarlane does have a Superpowers, two of them. One Superpowers, one's multiverse exclusives. So we'll see about
Comic-Con.
Yep. So we'll see about some good pics of those. If you guys will remember me, remind me during this week. I will see about trying to run down better pictures of those.
You know what the Superpower one is?
Yep. I do.
Dun, dun, dun.
You want to tell us?
No. It's a 3-pack. 3-pack.
I think I saw that the other day.
Yeah, it's a 3-pack.
Can't remember who they are.
I'm just kidding. I can tell you. McFarlane does those black and white ones where only select pieces of the figure are actually painted. The rest of it are in grayscale.
Yeah.
It's a Trinity 3-pack. It's Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, but they're the Superpowers figures, and each one of them has like the Superman symbol, the bat symbol, and the eagle on her chest are painted. The rest of them are grayscale. And those are Superpower scaled figures. The multiverse 7-inch is that gold Superman with the eagle. That's the copy of his memorial from when he died in Centennial Park in Metropolis. That is the 7-inch.
We're working on them, Corey.
Yeah. So I saw the model. I did see the old Remco, the copy of the Remco model from the 60s, which is a Godzilla exclusive from Super 7, right, Chris? And then there was another one. It's the Terror of Mechagodzilla Jet Jaguar Godzilla 2-pack from Super 7, which is actually kind of cool because that suit, those 3 movies right there, that was my absolute favorite Godzilla suit as a kid. That's the one that the Shogun Warrior Godzilla was modeled after, which was the last 3 of the original series. So, yep, the Jet Jaguar and that awesome version of Godzilla from Terror of Mechagodzilla. Score. How's that? Boy, it's 9 o'clock, gentlemen. We got through another week.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully it was entertaining, informative. Nothing crazy this week. But
no.
I really genuinely do, guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I really sincerely do encourage you to start putting things away. So media, comics, toys, food, water, whatever else. I'm serious. I think it's a good idea. I really do. So, start building your own legacy stuff. How's that? That makes sense. So,
Thanks everyone for joining in.
Yep.
Hit the like and subscribe button.
yep.
That'll help us out.
Smash that. What is that? Is that what they say? Smash that like button.
Smash
Smash it.
that button.
Smash it. Smash that button.
Good night, everybody.
And remember, Coco and Destro for president 2024.
Coco and Destro.